What's up, everyone? Today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Icejade. Now, Icejade is a deck that is really not that great. I really wish it was, just because I like the name and the art and all that. But it definitely has a lot of struggles. But you can still do some stuff with it. And it is a 3-card skill drain, so if you can set that up, then you're in a very good spot. So this build is focused on trying to get into the sort of floodgate options as much as possible. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, I run 3 Adrenaline. Adrenaline, if it's normal spell summon, you can add an Icejade spell trap from your deck to your hand. And if your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card, or targets this card for an attack, quick effect, you can activate this effect for the rest of this turn. This card, if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not. And you can special summon 1 water monster from your hand or graveyard. This is basically your searcher. It's the only monster that you can really normal summon. So you definitely always want to have this in your hand, because this can get you to either your curse or the field spell, which are the 2 cards you need to get into that good floodgate. I'll just run 3 Tremora. Tremora, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a water monster from your hand. It kind of works as like an extra summon, or it works really well with another one of the cards that we have in this profile. I do run the Torrent Barrier Statue, so this definitely helps with allowing us, if we have both that and the Adrenaline, so we can get both effects off and puts us in a really good spot. Also run 3 Ran Adrenaline. You can discard 1 Icejade card or 1 water monster to special summon this card from your hand. And when you do, you can special summon an Icejade token. All while that token is on the field, you cannot special summon monsters from the actual deck except water monsters, which is fine because we do have an Icejade synchro that is a level 10 and water. Basically, like let's say Adrian and the level 3, that gets you straight to it. Also run 3 of the Adrocasis. Adrocasis, like the other, you can special summon it, but you have to control an Icejade. So if you have an Icejade, you control an Icejade monster, you can equip this card to it, and then once it's equipped to a monster, you can special summon it. So basically, you can special summon it from your hand in an odd way. So basically, you equip it, then special summon it. Which I don't know why it's got like that roundabout way of doing it, but all the way, it's still easy to get out. Also run 2 copies of Cosmic Lore. If a face-up card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this is one of your floodgate monsters. Cosmic Lore has an effect that while the Icejade field spell is on the field, monsters your opponent control can only activate their effects the turn they are summoned. And Curse has like the opposite effects, that they can't activate their effects except on the turn they are summoned. Of course, as I said earlier, I run 3 copies of Torrent. Since we run the Tremora, that allows us to summon Torrent even if we already have the Adrenaline in our hand. So with that, we're able to get, both the Adrenaline and the Torrent. And, Torrent's just all around really good. Opponent cannot special summon monsters except water, which there aren't any meta decks that run a lot of waters. So obviously, depending on the format, this would definitely change. Like, let's say Marincess became a tier 1 deck, then obviously this wouldn't really work out too well. Although I don't see how Marincess would become a tier 1 deck. Rogue maybe, but I don't think it's got tier 1 potential. Also run 3 copies of Ash. Ash again is just a very good card. Depending on the format, this could change very easily. Like I say right now, honestly, Droll is probably currently better than Ash, at least from what I know. But Ash is still always, just a good option to have. Moving on to spells, I run 3 copies of the field spell. When it's activated, you can add a Icejade monster from your graveyard or that is banished. Also run the 1 Terraforming. The field spell you want to have on the field, because with the field spell you get the effect of the Cosmic Lore as well as Icejade Curse. So while an Icejade monster and the Icejade field spell are on the field, your opponent can activate the effects of monsters that were summoned that turn. So basically with this and the Cosmic Lore and the field spell, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects. Yeah, I know it's like a watered down version of Skill Drain, literally, because this is a water deck. So also run 3 copies of Icejade Cradle. Adds an Icejade monster for your deck hand, so it's your searcher. I run 2 copies of Manifestation and the 1 Full. So Manifestation, if you control a water monster and your opponent has a water monster, or if your opponent has a monster on the field or in their graveyard, you can either add or send 1 Icejade monster from to the grave or summon it. which is definitely really good. And also run so basically I run 3 manifestation. They want full as you want to send the most oftentimes you're going to send Adrin, but it really depends on what your hand is. If you have the field spell, then it's going to be really good because then you just send it to the graveyard, then use the field spell to add it back to your hand. So it's like a roundabout way of adding stuff to your hand. I run 3 Pot of Prosperity. Considering in order to get the best out of this deck, it's a 3-card combo, so not really a 3-card combo, but we need 3 cards on the field. Curse, Field Spell, and Cosmic Lore. And I also run the one Called by the Grave because a hand trap is going to kill you 100%, especially if that hand trap is drawn. Moving on to the traps, I run 3 Infinite Impermanence. Again, just all around solid card. Moving on to the Icejade. The Icejade, for the most part, does not matter too much because you're very rarely going to go into it. The Cosmic Lore is like your boss monster in a way. Okay, so this card has a quick effect to where you can activate this effect and face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects. Then if you activate this effect in response to your opponent's card effect activation, and your opponent has a card with the same name as that card, you can banish those cards. If a card is banished, and if a card is banished by your opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon it. So it's got like a banish effect in a weird roundabout way. It's kind of like the one thing I noticed with this deck. It does a lot of things in a very weird way. Like instead of just saying, I'll just negate the effects, it's like activate in response, then you can negate the effect or something like that. Like it's got very weird wording. Now most of the rest of the Icejade doesn't matter for the most part. I run 2 Baron de Fleur. You could run 1. Like outside of the Adrian and Baron de Fleur, I really do not use the Icejade much at all. I run 1 Asahima Almirage, which I guess can come up if you have the field spell and the Adrian. You can link the Adrian into Almirage and use the field spell to add it back, but there's not really going to be a whole lot of uses for that. Of course, area, the Water Charmer. I do run IP Masquerena, Phoenix, a couple Unicorns, or you could run 2 Phoenix, either or. Aplosa and Access Code for our finisher. And for XYZ, I run 2 Flare Dragon and a Zeus. And that's basically it for the X deck. Let me know what you think of Icejade. Do you think it's a pretty solid deck? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.